All right, so we had reviewed that a contract is made up of three different things. Okay, the contract has the name of the function, the domain, what it takes in, and the range, what it returns. So the contract for star is star, takes in a number, a string, and it produces us an image. Okay, on your question, here's the contract for a new function right here. I want you to answer what is the name of the function, how many things are in the domain of this function, what is the type of each thing in the domain, and what is the range of this function. So looking at this, we can see the first thing is it's going to tell us the function name. This one's called rectangle. The next section is the domain. Okay, and there are four things right here: number, string, string. And those are the types: a number, two numbers, and two strings. And the range is what it produces. It produces an image. So if we look at this right here for our rectangle, actually using it, rectangle 150 solid blue, what do you think this will produce? All right, let's look at something a little more complicated right here. So we're going to look at this function right here. And it says this function takes in the URL of any image you can find online and will produce that image so that you can use it in your program. So what I want you to write down on this question is, what are the three parts of a contract, which we just went over? What is the name of this function right here? How many things are in its domain? What data type is the domain of this function? And then what data type will this expression return? All right, so looking at this, we could see, remember, every time we do parentheses, the first thing we do is the name of our function. So our function is called bitmap URL. Okay, and remember that our contracts have the name of the function, the domain, and the range. We can look at the stuff that it's taking in, and if we look, it's just this one thing that's in quotes right here. So there's only one thing being passed into this thing right here. It has nothing to do with the slashes or the dots or anything like that. It's just one thing, and because it's in quotes, we could say that it is a string. So we are giving a string to this function. And it says that it's going to produce an image. So even though this right here, if I went to this, it would give me an image. What we are passing in is a bunch of letters right here. And so that's why it's a string. All right, so thinking about this, we're going to be going into our definitions area. Okay, suppose we want to make an image that had 50 identical solid red triangles. If we wanted to do that, we would have to write triangle 50 solid red 50 times. Now, it might be easy. We'd write it once and then you copy and paste. But let's say I wanted to make the triangle bigger, or I wanted to make it a different color. I would have to do that for all 50 there. So good programmers know, hey, my efforts are better spent elsewhere. And so we want to find ways that we can avoid repetition. So if I can just write it once and then use it kind of like a shortcut, I could use it wherever I want. So we're going to go in and we're going to take and we're going to go one moment. Okay, we're going to go in right here, and if I click on that, it will bring this up over here. I'm going to press run. Okay, and now all I have to do is type shape 1. So I have defined this thing, this little shortcut called shape 1, to make a triangle that's 50 pixels solid and red. Now I can change this if I wanted to just make my shape 1. If I wanted it to be green, I could do that. I could press run and then shape 1, and I can put it in right there. And now what I want you to write down is I want you to define a shape 2 that would make a blue circle 20 pixels wide. And you're going to write the code on this question that's coming up right here. So you're going to follow the same stuff right here. And once you got it, you'll paste your code onto the question. All right, next, I do want you to log in at wescheme.org. Like actually log in, and then on the left, it will change to My Programs. And when you're in My Programs, you're going to have something like this, except all yours will be blank. You're going to go to Bootstrap Starter Files, and you're going to press Game right here. And if we look at this, this is going to be the template for our game. There's all this code written in here for our game to kind of build itself. We just have certain things that we have to think about right here. So I'm going to press the remix button to save this as a copy for myself. And then I'm going to press run. Okay, and when I press run, I'm going to get I'm going to get my game right here. Now we notice that there's nothing coming across the screen. I can't move my character up and down or anything. And that's because we haven't made those parts. Okay, we're going to make these things move later. But right now, we're just going to work on getting our images in there.